Hola familia. In this video I'm going to talk something that I do in my work, that is to help students to build and create the architectural narrative for the thesis that they will do to pass and get the degree of Bachelor in Architecture. And this one is one of the samples that I feel very proud because the achievement of the student was really high and then he get a very good score. For those who doesn't know me, my name is Miguel Vélez. I am a Spanish architect working in Asia since 2008 and I'm based here in Bangkok.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool.
This is the final project that they do before they left the architectural school, and today's sample is one of the exercise, the thesis done by one very brilliant student. I'm going to show you the presentation that he was doing in order to grab one of the highest scores that has been issued in this architectural school. So this will be a set of 4 videos. We are going to go chapter by chapter in the work that needs to be done in one pre-thesis. So the today video is the chapter number 1, that is the one that the student defined the background of interest for the pre-thesis plus a few concepts that we will see later on. In this video you will see how is the composition and the information that must appear in that PDF presentation that you will be probably doing soon. I hope that this information is useful for you. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click like.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool.
Bueno, familia, let's go to the thing that we are going to talk today. This is one of the pre-thesis work that I have been working with one of the students, and I have to say that it's a referent in the place that I'm working. Not many of the students came after this thesis was done in the 2023, asking me to reach to the level that is showing in this thesis. So, well, this is a winery in Khao Yai, in Thailand. The student name is Bay Char. It's a winery and wine yard in Khao Yai. Pre-thesis, chapter 1 to 5, Assumption University of Thailand. As you can see here, this is the cover, the first page that the jury will see. So the name of the project, which is arete, this is a word that later on the student will explain what is the meaning. And then the thesis is an immersive wine experience, no? And the name of the student, and we can see the mountains, because these mountains, this shape of the mountain is going to be later very important in the moment to design the building. Later we will discover chapter by chapter how the student was doing this narrative of architecture to come up with the... You can see here the composition is in black, so all the format we are going to see is black color. The letters are in white, and he's using this magenta, this pink, which is a reference to the color of the red wine. That is something that the student take for the whole thesis presentation. We can see here we have 32 pages, and this is the second one. So here the student is writing the main thing of the slide is the contents, and then here we have the keywords that the student is using for this thesis, and the chapters with the bullet points that the chapter contain. Okay, so this presentation, this video of today is only focused in the chapter number 1, no? The thesis introduction. So we will talk about the background of interest, the thesis statement, the research questions, research objectives, scope and the limitation of research and design methodology, and benefit of this study. So then the student will put all these bullet points, the content of each of them, in the slides of this presentation that I mentioned is a total of 32 pages. Chapter number 2, chapter number 3, okay, will be later another video to see the content, how these students solve this issue. Chapter 4, programming. Chapter 5, if we go to the introduction, okay, you can see here the student is putting the design of the slide In the right hand side, introduction in black, in white, we can see everybody in the jury. If they get lost in any moment, they will look here and then they will see in which point of the presentation of the student is, so they won't get lost. So he put what is the winery, and then the image that he's putting, that is the things that is dominating, is a spectacular image of one winery to explain that a winery is a place where the wine is manufactured and produced, basically a grape workplace. Whereas it's a vineyard is where the grapes for the wine are being carefully refined and grown. No? So then we see the winery himself, the building, the architecture that we are looking, and then we are already identifying that the vineyard is also part of the program of this building, of this typology. No? So then he put here, this picture is a reference, so this one is, if you want to talk about case studies, you can use this kind of introduction to put already your case study to highlight something that you want to talk about your building references. No? So here he's writing Wine Dome, okay, where is located this project, and who is the architect who designed this thing and the year. No? This is one information that every time that you are taking reference should appear. So then we go to the next page. The next page is taking the same picture of before, okay, and is separating between these themes, these two themes, these two items, the building, the winery, and then the vineyard. Is the same picture of before, but he already do one analysis with color, using the red and the magenta to refer to the red color of the wine, continue with the black background, and here in white he is explaining the process of the wine making, okay, and he write a brief description, and here put the reference from where this information coming. This continue to be the explanation, but we can see that now the building, the proposal that he's analyzing in this pre-thesis start to have two main components, no? That is the winery, the building, okay, and the vineyard. The things, the program that is related to the architecture, and the program that is related to the landscape area, no? In this case, the vineyard. He continued with the background of the interest, and then he go to a brief story of the wine. No? So then he take 4 powerful images, and he put here a time schedule, a timeline with the different years and what is the thing that he want to highlight. No? This referring to Egypt, so then you need to put the drawing with the reference about the wine in a Egypt style drawing. No? This one is China, Armenia, Europe. He's putting briefly the different milestones that the wine have along the history. Then, using the same template as before, continue to talk in the background of interest, and now he wants to dip a little bit in the details to explain how the wine and the context are related. Here, for example, is in Czech Republic, blueberry wine. In Germany, apple wine, pineapple wine in Hawaii, and the grape wine in Georgia. The student, the thing that is telling us is how the wine is attached to a place. He used the same template to make this effect. He put the image of the wine, no, as a product. No? So then we can see the relation between the place and the product. We are talking about the background, no, of the wine. Then he explained with a map, okay, that there is one old wall, which is this one, that is in Italy, Spain, and France, no, that are the countries that has a very long story in the winemaking. There is a new wall, okay, that is United States, Argentina, Australia, and South Africa. So he put also the source from where coming this information, and then he started to explain this third wall, that is the new countries, no? Bolivia, Ecuador, Peru, Cambodia, Vietnam, Myanmar, Thailand, that are also interested in the wine making, no? To produce their own wine. He's explaining the history in different phases. This thesis is in Thailand, in the story of the wine in Thailand. And then the first reference that appeared, and he put here the source, which is the grapes has been introduced in Thailand by the French embassy. Then we see here the French people versus the Thai people. So here in this image, continue with the background and interest, and he starts with the introduction of the wine to Thailand recently in the 90s. So we can see that he continued to have the same format. Here is to put the title of the slide, a picture totally edited in Photoshop, a map in Thailand, and then he's putting the location in red color, in the one that he's using to make the reference to the wine. So he has the maps. Each point of this we can understand that is the location of the wineries in Thailand. He presents data, so he's showing here in this picture how is the Thai data related to the wine, and he's putting from where coming this source. Always that you put some reference, you need to put the source from where this information is coming. Then we enter here, Thailand existing wineries. And this is the wine map of Thailand. He put here the different names of the locations. He highlight 4 of them. We can see that he's using 2 colors, the purple and the pink, and then we can see the legend. The purple is talking about the main cities, and in pink the wineries. And then suddenly he come up with this reference, that is not a winery, it's a museum. In fact, it's the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, done by Frank Gehry, as is indicated here, done in 1997. The things that he wants to highlight this thing as a case study is the Bilbao effect. This building is a reference because the city of Bilbao was known as an industrial city, and since this building was designed and placed in the river of Bilbao city, then transformed the city to be a cultural hub. So then that phenomenon is called in architecture as the Bilbao effect. And here already we see that he changed to be a state of art. This is the thesis statement that he is going to introduce now. Then this is one winery designed also close to Bilbao by Frank Gehry, is having the Bilbao effect again. So we can see here how the winery is creating a kind of icon, a kind of image, as a landmark, and then put this place, this city on the map because the looking of the building. So then we can see that the student is talking that his building should have a kind of image that transforms the location that he is going to place his vineyard and winery. This one is another sample, Herzog and de Meuron, and this is in California, and it's the same similar thing. We have the mountains, we have the building, and then we have the vineyard. So all these things are the components that the student is trying to focus. That we have a landscape, we have the vineyard that is necessary to collect the grapes, and then we have the building as a laboratory. Different pictures to see how the landscape is integrated into the architecture, and then this element of the vineyard that is like the transition between the architecture and the existing landscape. This is another sample. Just the student start to realize that actually the design of the vineyard is generating a kind of landscape that can be also a kind of attraction to the building, and then it's an attraction for the user, the people that is going to use. So then he tried to put different scenarios about how the vineyard can be seen, can be experienced, to see that at the end this is also a part to be designed in his thesis. That one is also the grapes that is using one structure and start to grow up over the ground. This one is another sample. That we have here the winery, and then we have the landscaping. This is in a volcano area in Canary Island, and then the people is using these stone walls and they excavate the grave, they put here the grave, and this stone wall, the thing that is doing is the protection because the wind here blow very hard, and then generate this beautiful landscape that is one attraction for the user to come here and visit and have a route to see this landscape, this place, no? Because it's very attractive. Okay, this is another sample. Okay, and then we can see also here the scale, and then we can see the grave, how the people is digging and manipulating the landscape in an artificial way, creating very interesting places, no, that deserve to be visited, no, to have the experience. And then we can see always how he treats the image, no, when he's talking about the reference. He's putting very powerful and very attractive image, no, to seduce the audience that is going to be in the room evaluating your work. In one picture, he put all the case study that he has in mind, talking about architecture, connection of the architecture with the existing landscape, different landscape that the vineyard is generating, and then he's already doing here his thesis statement in order to define and help to visualize to the audience, to the jury, what is the things that the student has inside his mind, no? So he's capable to explain in a very basic way 3 elements that will be the main actors of his thesis, which is the building, the vineyard, and the landscape in the existing place, no, in the context. And how is the integration of these 2 elements, the architecture and the vineyard, inside the context of the location of his thesis. That is something, the location is something that he will talk later on in another chapters. Then here we have a very straight and very simple slide to talk about the research questions and the objective. He's using the black, he's cutting in the middle of the slide, and then he's putting in white color 5 questions, and in this magenta he's putting the objective. So then he's helping us, no, as a jury, to understand which one is the question and then which one is the objective. And then he put on bold keywords, archetypes of the winery, tropical, related with the context, the user, because is something important also, the activities in the program, and then suitable in order to refer to the Bilbao effect that he was explaining in the previous slides. And then he put another of the requirements of the thesis is to talk about the scope plus the limitations of research. And then he write down here in white color which one are this scope and the limitations, and he put the keywords that he is referring in the previous slide, he put here in pink. If you are a jury, it's easy to follow the keywords to know roughly what is the thing that the student is talking, and then once that you detect the keywords, then you read the sentence. And then you are helping the jury to understand and communicate what you have in your mind. Now we visualize all the previous text that we have, all the words that we have. He helped the jury to understand all these words and all these keywords and description to visualize, no? So we have users, then he put the user with the scale of the grapes, he put the climate, he put the program, and he put the architecture integrated in that context, no? Because it's going to be the thing that is important in his thesis. So then another point that is requested is research and design methodology. So interviews and questionnaire as a primary research. A survey will be also collected involving 20 to 30 users and end users. And then he defined who are the users and who are the end users. That one is a primary research. As a secondary research, he will talk about online articles and research food websites. He put in the wall reference of existing buildings that are around the world and some reference that he's taking in Thailand, no? Which will be the context that his winery building will B. And the definition of terms. This is something very important because it's the definition of all the terms that you will be using on your thesis. So you need to define in the chapter number 1, so whoever that is going to read will understand the definition of this word, but this one is not the definition of the dictionary. This one is the way that you are understanding this word in the context of your thesis, no? So in this case, there are like at least 5, 7, 10 words that are referring to all the terms that will be appear. So in this case, we have winery, we have vineyard, we have the tropical savanna climate, we have the technology museum, and we have museum production process, because these things will be later explaining the different chapters, and there will be a lot of references to these keywords, to these terms. So then the benefit of the study, the student is talking about what is the current precedent, that he is using the archetypes plus the tropical climate, and he is getting the current typology of the winery in Thailand. The proposal of the students is using the same two elements of before, the archetypes plus the tropical climate, and he's introducing the thing that he was explaining previously on the slides, that is the Bilbao effect. So then means that his target for the thesis is to do a new typology of the winery and vineyard for the context of Thailand. And that will be the thing that he will explain in the next chapters of the thesis. And he ended the presentation with a summary that is given with the pictures of the 12 wineries existing in Thailand. And he put here in colors what is next. That is going to be the typology of his building. And this is the last image of his presentation, that he compiled the 12 wineries existing in Thailand. And then in the other half of the slide, he's putting 12 squared in order to represent these wineries on the left, and these three symbols, no? And that one, the dots, just to talk what is next, what is going to be next, what is going to be the typology, the new typology that he target in his thesis. Bueno, familia, this is all about the chapter 1 of the pre-thesis. If you have any doubts, don't doubt to contact me, either here or in the Instagram account, and then we can keep in touch. And don't forget the most important thing, just to be happy designing. Bye-bye, and see you in the chapter number 2.